I have a nurse on my left trying to place an IV, but my veins are collapsing because I'm now going into shock. So she's trying to get the IV into my arm, and the nurse on my right is quoting my blood pressure. As this is going on, the nurse on my right is quoting my blood pressure, and she yells out, 50/15, hurry. And the nurse, and I'm thinking, what's taking her so long? Why can't she get that IV in? And it's shortly after that I realize that I'm dying. So I am completely aware that I am dying, which is very different from when I was giving birth and in that earthquake, when I had life flash before my eyes and thinking, oh my gosh, this is it, I'm gonna die. This was a knowing. I knew that I was dying. And it was shortly after this moment that I felt like I was starting to get pulled out of my body. And I was a complete atheist at the time. I was very scientific, and my worldview was very materialistic. I had no beliefs in the afterlife. I had no beliefs in angels, in soul survival, nothing. And so here I am on the table, and I'm pleading with God, just please let me live. I have 3 children under the age of 6. They need a mother. And it was shortly after that I got pulled out of my body. And I just find myself hovering about 3 or 4 feet above my body. And as I'm outside my body, my first thought is, how can I be outside my body and still be me? How does this work? Because I had no belief in soul survival or that could even happen. But there's also a knowing that I belong to that body down there, just like you live in your house or your apartment, or which car is yours, that belongs to you. You step inside. I had just stepped outside my body. But there was also a knowing that there was no time in this state, that I had access to past, present, and future all at the same time, because time wasn't relevant in this state. Time was just something that I experienced on the earth plane. And there's also this peace and unconditional love, just very peaceful. There wasn't a panic at all. The panic was right before I left my body, but once I was outside, I was just in amazement. How can I be me and be outside my body? So now I find myself tumbling through darkness. There was no tunnel. People talk about the tunnel. For me, it was just sort of tumbling through outer space. That's what it felt like. But then I arrived to what I call the mid station, because it was as if you go into an elevator of a skyscraper and there are 100 floors, but you push the button for the 50th floor and you get off at floor 50. And there are levels below you in the skyscraper, and that there are levels above you. So that was the feeling when I arrived to this place, that there were levels above me and levels below me. But when I get to this place, without my body, I'm just in spirit form, I hear the most beautiful music you can ever imagine, more beautiful than any music that you can make on the earth plane. And I turn my spirit towards the right, and I see a log cabin, very small log cabin, almost the size of a sauna. And I open the door and I look inside, but it's empty. So then I turn towards the left, and I see the exact same image that I saw on the right, another log cabin, just a mirror image of it. And I open the door and I look inside, but it's empty. So I'm wondering where this beautiful music is coming from. And as I'm standing there between these 2 log cabins, I become aware of this growing white light, almost like a fog of bright light is rolling in behind you. And as I turn my spirit body around, I become completely enveloped in this beautiful, magnificent white light that is just extending out into infinity. But this pure white light is a knowing that I am with divine source or God or whatever you want to call that. But that is what we come from. That light is just pure, unconditional love. And that light, we carry that light inside of us. We are part of this light. And we return to this light when we go to the other side, when we leave the physical world. But in this bright, magnificent white light, there is an outline of angels, and the music is coming from the angels. And it's almost like an angelic choir is the closest description I have of this. And I'm thinking, as I'm staring at these, knowing that I'm with divine source, knowing that the music is coming from these angels, why am I seeing angels? I don't believe in angels. Why do I think I'm with divine source or God? I don't believe in God. So it's fascinating that I had this experience, but it wasn't my belief system. But then I become aware of two spirit guides. And the one on the right is telepathically communicating with the one diagonally to the left in front of me. And he says, what is she doing here? She can't be here. She has to go back. And I say, no. Wait a second. How can I still be me and be outside of my body? How does this work? And the spirit guide on my left says, if I told you, you wouldn't remember, but you will remember this. And then it is like images just sort of appear, and it is as if I'm standing on the moon and I'm looking down onto the earth from outer space. But around the earth, there is what I called a silvery, glittery fishnet, because I grew up in Northern Europe and I rode that little boat for my grandmother as she laid fish nets in the ocean to catch fish for the family to eat. And when she lifted those nets out of the ocean in the early morning sun, the water droplets would sort of shimmer and glitter in the sunlight. And so to me, this is 1994. We did not have Google and the internet then. And we had never seen an image of the grid around the earth. So to me, that looked like a silvery, glittery fishnet. And the spirit guide said, everything on earth is connected to each other, but everything on earth is connected up to this grid. And with that information, I got sent back to earth.